Hey, everybody, I'm John Granado. That's Lance Zerline. You can hear us mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hit subscribe if you haven't already so you get all of our content here at SportsMap HOU. Hey, this week, Lance, we saw the rumor mill picking up an interest in Willson Contreras. Now, it was put out there that, hey, he can play first base, he can play left field, he can play catch. Well, he can. He did, maybe 5 games 3 years ago, but he just doesn't do that. Now, technically, he could play all those positions, and if he did, that would be awesome. Would you feel confident throwing him at first base if he hasn't played there in a couple of years, 3 years?
No, not really, but, I've gotten used to Yuli being such a good defensive.
Not this year.
No, not this year, but Yuli has been a Gold Glove winner. Bregman's been really good. You've had Carlos Correa at third, Altuve. We've had a very good defensive infield for the Houston Astros, and Yuli's down a little bit. This is a concern with Yuli, but I don't think – I think Contreras maybe would be a DH potentially, but I think if you were to make a deal for Contreras, there would be some starts where there would need to be Machete in the lineup because he would need to catch certain pitchers. He just has the right kind of rapport, maybe with Framber, for example. And if that were the case, then I could absolutely see Jordan being the DH and Contreras playing first base. You could absolutely see something like that, and Michael Brantley in the outfield. And then you got a wealth of riches there, except with obviously Machete as a catcher.
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, I think it's messing with a catcher position. I don't know. Can we think back when a team acquired a catcher, a great team acquired a catcher mid-season and went on to win a championship? It just isn't done too often.
No, it's not done too often. And most of the best catchers, going back, there have been catchers who transition from catcher to first base. That's not an unusual transition late in their career. The knees are a little bit shot. This would not be that. This would be taking a young catcher and basically saying, we got a veteran who's great handling pitchers, but we still want your bat in the lineup. And I just, you don't know if the Astros would be willing to do that. This whole thing with Willson Contreras, John, we've talked about how I don't know that it feels like it's something that could work with the way that the Astros pitchers respond to Machete, but I'll take it a step further. Instead of worrying about just this year, what if I were to tell you could have a better hitter and potentially a player that is in your lineup every single day for the next 5 or 6 years? Well, now that window of opportunity that we want open for ALCSs and World Series potential, it feels a lot more viable with a player like Contreras than Maldonado. So I don't know if you just get hyper focused on handling the pitching staff now. Maybe we underestimate what Willson Contreras could do with a staff. And I do think it's important you have a Latin American, a Spanish-speaking catcher. Yeah. I think that's kind of an important deal with this particular line of pitching
I've said
staff.
that, too. They're going to love – listen, they love Maldonado. They're going to love Contreras if he comes here, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to love his bat even more. I don't know, and we'll talk about this on the other side, I don't know how much longer you can have Maldonado's bat in the lineup. I don't know how much – as much as they love him.
We've normalized a 150 average.
Yeah, well, but first I want to talk – you're wearing a scumbag shirt.
Yeah.
Right? I've got a Coors Light shirt. We see where our heads are. Okay, you're with a bunch of scumbags. I am with cold, clean, crisp, refreshing, and the world's most refreshing beer. There's a big difference there. So I win, and I win every time I grab my Blue Mountains and I throw it down because I'm keeping Texas chill. I don't know what you're doing with your life. I know I'm doing my part. I'm keeping Texas chill. If you're looking for that beer that goes with everything you do every day, it's cold, clean, crisp, refreshing Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. If you had to handicap it, Maldonado as a catcher or somebody else?
Maldonado.
Next year.
Somebody else.
I think they got to make a move.
I think so, too.
And Contreras is going to be out there on the open market. If you don't get him now, you might be able to get him after this season.
Without any prospects dealt.
Right. And you save your prospects as well. And you know what? There's you're going to Yuli money is going to go, Brantley money is going to go. You might spend it on that catcher position. Although you're going to need to fill in at first base as well. I don't know that Matijevic is the answer, but you've got some spots now, and you'll have a little bit of money freed up. If Verlander doesn't come back, you got that $25 million that you freed up as well.
What's the favorite then? Josh Bell, who's also on the market at first base, or Willson Contreras as a Houston Astro? If you had to make one the favorite over the other one, would they be more willing to part with or to sit Maldonado or to sit Yuli? It's getting to the point where I'm thinking sitting Yuli almost makes more sense than sitting Maldonado at some point.
No, his fielding this year is way down. His hitting is way down. His runners and scoring, all the metrics are for Yuli to not be in the lineup right now. I mean, there's been a case that Yuli might be the worst first baseman in the American League.
Unbelievable
right now.
in 1 year.
In 1 year, how it just has fallen apart for him. But they love him. And they have loved him. He was part of the championship team. He's been a big, huge cog. So it's going to be awfully difficult if Josh Bell comes over here to sit Yuli every day. But you know what you're almost going to have to do if Josh Bell comes here? Sit him every day, because that guy's got to be on the field. That guy can hit. He can hit both sides. He's a good first baseman. He's playing better first base than Yuli is this year. And you got that bat in that lineup makes it a different lineup. Now, if you can still work Yuli in, then you got yourself. I mean, that wouldn't be too bad either. And we got to see whether or not Michael Brantley's back. Maybe Alvarez goes out to the outfield.
Maybe, but you also have the potential to use Yuli as a DH if he gets a hot bat. I mean, there's different things you can do, but the bottom line is the sentimental thing is hanging on to Yuli, but age is undefeated. Maybe age is really catching up with him quickly. Machete, you cannot continue to normalize the batting average that he has, no matter how good he is defensively. At some point, winning a championship for the Astros takes scoring more runs than they're scoring on a consistent basis now, and the lineup may have to be addressed this year instead of next.
Yep.